Welcome everyone. We're now going to go over BobCAD, which is the software that the Bailey plasma cutter uses. In order to have a compatible file, you can create your own images, or you can look up images, just like I am here. You just can go to Google Images and just pick something simple, or simpler the better. For example, we recently did a flag cut, so I unfortunately had to create that one, but if we put in flag and perhaps silhouette and images, as you can see, there's an array of flags that do show up here, options. There are many of them. Now it's important that particularly when we are selling these items, that we are using Creative Commons, as these silhouettes are all free to use, as opposed to those that we would create ourselves. As you can see, that limits our options quite a bit, which is why I had to create my own. But I did find one right here. That's a decent flag. I just want to save it somewhere that I can find it, and I'm just going to put it on the desktop for now. Once I have that, I'll need to open up BobCAD right here. Now, I'm not expecting you to know how to program an entire plasma cut, but just so that you understand the process of what has to be gone through in order to I'm going to move my head over here, out of your way, and if we understand what it takes in order to create a particular file. So I'm just going to start with a blank template. One of these I've already created from before, and I'm just going to use my previous flag. I'm going to open that. Alright, as you can see there, that was the flag that I created, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to uncreate that, or remove it, I should say. Alright, so in order to add that file, I have to go to BobArt down here and load an image, which I'm going to load from the desktop. Shouldn't need my credentials. Alright. So notice I'm not finding the file because this is looking for JPEGs, and it's not there. So I'm just going to go to all files so I can hopefully find the one that we chose. Alright, so here's the problem. You chose a file, in my case I chose a file that's not compatible. So when you start looking for files to be added, you need to find ones that are compatible. They have to be a file type that BobCAD will recognize. So if you bring me a file with a thumb drive or send me one through an email, and you say this is what I want to cut on the plasma cutter, I may not be able to cut it because you haven't sent me a file that BobCAD recognizes. So particularly a JPEG like this one here, or a PNG are good options. So let's just say all I had was these stars, which is what I was able to find before, and I opened that up and there they are. Now I'm not ready to cut because obviously I've only got part of the image. I don't have the stripes yet, and so I have to go on and vectorize the stars, which are going to turn them into images that that can be cut. As you can see now, I don't just have that grayed out star. I can actually have an image here that I can move and size. So as you can see, there are those stars now. Now this is based on our 24 by 24 inch plasma table, this size here. So you can see how big these are. They're too big, so I have to scale them down. So I'm going to go down here to scale on the left and make them smaller. Even that may not be, that's pretty close right there. Once I have them about where I want, I can hit OK. Now if I don't like this grayed out image back here, I feel like it's going to be in my way. Now that I have the vectorized image, I can delete this image here. And then all I've got is what I've created. From this point on, all I can do is create. So So at this point I've got to make those stripes and all the other parts of the flag, and that takes a while. I'm not going to go into all that for the sake of this video, just so that you understand the process that it takes in order for me to create an image. That's not wide enough, so there's a lot of measuring involved and a lot of going back and forth between measurements. Everything on Bobcat is in metrics, everything's in millimeters. Once again, just another part of the process. Takes time. Let's just say that was a stripe. These are way out of scale, just so you understand the process. So it's on its way, and this is what I did to create the last flag that we made. So if you want something created, and you look it up and you find an image, it's a JPEG or a PNG, maybe even a GIF image, GIF image, that might work. You can send it to me or put it on a thumb drive and bring it in, and we'll try to put it in here. You need to look for ways in which, notice how these stars are all going to fall out no problem, and these stripes are going to fall out no problem. Sometimes the parts that are going to fall, or that are going to drop out of your image, are parts that you want to keep. In that case, let's say I wanted these stripes to stay, and I didn't want them to fall out, I wanted them to be a part. I would have to create little tabs between the parts in order to make them stay. And that, once again, that's just another part of the process that takes time that you need to be aware of. Okay, and so now this whole section would come out instead of just that one stripe. So these are just things to be considering when you want to create an image. I'm going to do the work here, and I'm going to do all of the programming in order to make it cut. But for your reference, this is what you need to know when you go searching and you decide, I want to create something on the plasma table. Okay, and that's all I've got for you.
Well, I hope you have enjoyed this series on the CNC Plasma Cutting Table on the Fab Guild.